Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Learn English podcast. This episode is specially created for upper intermediate learners, those of you who already know how to communicate in English but want to reach that next level of fluency, independence, and confidence. I'm glad you're here because today we're going to discuss a challenge that so many learners face, maybe even you. It's the idea, the strong belief, that to truly become fluent in English, you absolutely need a speaking partner. Perhaps you've thought this yourself, right? If only I had a native speaker to practice with, then I'd finally speak English. Sounds logical, doesn't it? After all, language is about communication, so it seems reasonable to assume that you need someone on the other side of the conversation. But here's the thing, that belief is actually a misconception. A misconception is simply a mistaken idea, a wrong assumption, okay? And this specific misconception has held back thousands of learners. It has disappointed many. The truth is, you don't need another person to practice English every single day. In fact, you can build fluency completely on your own. And in some ways, practicing independently, meaning the practice you do by yourself, can actually be more powerful because you set the pace, you control the speed, the topic, and the focus. You're not waiting on anyone else. Now, let's pause for a moment and think about why traditional methods often fall short, especially for learners working alone. When I say fall short, I mean they don't fully deliver what you truly need. Maybe you've attended a language class with 20 students where you only get to speak for 2 minutes. Or perhaps you've had a friendly speaking partner who never corrected you, so you kept repeating the same mistakes over and over. Or maybe you've depended on the occasional online conversation. That might have given you a pleasant moment of practice, but not the repeated exposure you really needed to grow. These approaches often leave you feeling stuck because fluency is built by speaking consistently, every single day, until the words feel natural. So what's the alternative? What else can you do? What is the other path? The answer is self-directed practice. Yes, self-directed practice. Self-directed simply means you take the lead, you become your own guide. And when you do that, you can build a fluency system that runs every single day without depending on a class schedule or someone else's availability. You can practice whenever you want. One of the most powerful tools I recommend is something I call the inner conversation method. Sounds like a big term, but it simply means talking to yourself. You take your thoughts, the ideas already inside your mind, and turn them into English words. In other words, you speak to yourself, not silently, but out loud. For example, imagine you're making breakfast. Instead of cracking eggs in silence, you narrate out loud what you're doing, almost as if you're telling a story. I'm cracking the eggs. The pan is heating up. I think I'll add some cheese. By narrating your actions, you bring your inner thoughts to life in English. You become the storyteller of your own day. Another way to use the inner conversation method is by responding to content. Let's say you're watching a news video. Don't just sit back and absorb the information passively. Instead, speak back to it. Pretend the presenter asked for your opinion. You might say something like, "Well, I don't completely agree with that. From my perspective, the situation is more complicated." By answering the screen, you simulate a dialogue. It's not real, but it trains your brain to respond quickly, just like in a real conversation. And then there are self-dialogues, which are especially powerful. A self-dialogue is when you play both roles in a conversation. It may feel unusual at first, but it works beautifully. You can practice debates, explanations, even storytelling. For instance, pretend you're explaining a movie to a friend, so the main character wants to escape the city, but he doesn't have enough money. Something like that. By rehearsing both sides, you practice the natural rhythm of English conversation without needing a partner at all. Of course, technology makes this even easier today. We now have AI conversation partners like ChatGPT. Imagine it's midnight and you suddenly want to practice ordering food at a restaurant. With AI, you can do it instantly. No need to wait for tomorrow's class or schedule a session, and let's not forget personalized learning paths. Personalized means tailored, designed just for you. Many apps now analyze your progress and suggest what you need to practice next. That way, you don't waste time repeating things you already know. Instead, you focus on areas that will push you forward. Now let's talk about your daily fluency blueprint. A blueprint is like a plan, a design you follow. And the truth is, your plan doesn't need to be complicated. Even 15 minutes a day of focused, consistent practice can transform your fluency over time. Transform means change, usually for the better. Think of it like exercise. You don't build strength by going to the gym once for 3 hours and then quitting, right? You build strength by exercising regularly over weeks and months. The same principle applies to English. So, what might this daily routine look like? In the morning, while you're getting ready, narrate your actions. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm choosing what to wear today. In the afternoon, listen to a short podcast or video and then talk back to it, add your opinion. In the evening, practice a short self-dialogue. Pretend you're telling someone about your day. Today was busy. First, I had to do this, then I had to do that. In this way, you've spoken English 3 times during the day without needing anyone else. And here's a powerful tip: track your progress. Tracking means keeping a record. Record your voice once a week and save it. In the beginning, you'll hear mistakes, but after weeks and months, when you compare your recordings, you'll hear real progress. That's incredibly motivating. It gives you the energy to keep moving forward. Now, let's look at the long-term vision. Fluency isn't something you reach in one giant leap. It's something you build piece by piece, like building a house. Brick by brick, word by word, sentence by sentence. If you keep showing up daily, even with small efforts, you'll create something permanent and powerful. So let's return to the main question of today's episode. Do you really need a partner to speak English every day? The answer is no. You can absolutely unlock fluency on your own. What you need are the right methods, like the inner conversation method, self-dialogues, and narrating your daily life. You need the right tools, like AI partners such as ChatGPT. And most importantly, you need consistency and a clear vision of where you're going. Remember, every single time you speak English out loud, you're strengthening your fluency muscle. You don't need permission. You don't need a partner. You already have everything you need to start right now. If you found this episode helpful, here's my challenge to you. Right after this podcast, speak out loud. If you disagree with something I said, say it out loud. That's completely fine. Summarize what you learned in your own words. Try a short self-dialogue or narrate the next thing you do. Begin your daily solo fluency journey today, because the best partner you could ever have is yourself. Thank you for joining me here on Learn English Podcast. I'm Tom, and until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep believing in yourself. Bye for now.